Hello everyone, my name is Olivia and welcome to a weekend vlog. I am so excited to take you through my cozy weekend and update you here and there on what I'm currently reading and watching. But before we get into that, I want to show you 3 amazing things that I have received in the mail this week. One has brought me so much joy, I just cannot contain it, and it is a weighted stuffed animal Eeyore. My pen pal Leah got me a weighted stuffed animal Eeyore that I have been talking about for weeks upon weeks. I kept on saying how if I had this Eeyore, I feel like my anxiety would immediately be cured and I just would not have it anymore. So one day during this week, I was working and I heard the doorbell ring and a giant package was there, and inside was the weighted Eeyore. This Eeyore is the cutest stuffed animal I have ever gotten in my life. It is just so cozy, it is so cute. It weighs about 2.5 pounds, I believe, and the weight is mostly in the bottom because the weight is in the back. And I love him so much. He brings me so much joy. I really love having something heavy on my chest or on my lap when I'm working or when I'm laying down. Having this Eeyore has brought me so much joy within only 1 week, and I am just so grateful to my pen pal Leah for getting this for me. It was a complete surprise. I think he's so cute, and also his ears are so pink and so soft, and sometimes I just do this and I just hold it, and it's just the cutest thing ever. So I am going to keep Eeyore on my lap while I show you the other 2 things that I've gotten in the mail. And one is a really fun package from my friend Robbie, who is an up-and-coming author, and his book If You Change Your Mind is coming out on May 3rd, which is actually my brother's birthday, and he gave me the cutest package, so I wanted to unbox it here. I also have the unboxing featured on my TikTok and my reels because I just want to support Robbie as much as I can, and I also just really love everything that he sent my way. So let me get the box for you. So in the box came a cute little envelope, and the message that Robbie wrote me made my day, and it says, "Olivia, my friend and fellow lover of cinema, I hope you enjoy If You Change Your Mind. There are plenty of film references. Here's looking at you, kid." Anytime someone quotes Casablanca to me, my heart soars. It makes me so happy. I'm obsessed. I'm already so excited. And I've already opened this package, so I'm still so excited. In the package, we also have a cute little beach shirt, and it says Citrus Harbor Beach Club, and it has the logo on the back. And in the box, there is also a Citrus Harbor little canvas bag. I love this so much. I feel like I can bring this on picnics. I just love Robbie's aesthetic. It's a very beachy, very bright and vibrant type of aesthetic, and I feel like that's going to be really prevalent in his book. And now, let me show you the gorgeous book cover. Look at it. It is so vibrant and so cute, and I just think it matches Robbie's aesthetic to a T. It is just so Robbie. So it says it follows our main character, Harry, who has a dream of becoming a screenwriter, and he wants to use the summer to finish the script and not be distracted. But then when his first heartbreak, Grant, shows up, that changes everything. And it says, to complicate things further, new in town Logan is charming and sweet, making Harry question everything he knows about romance. As Harry tries to manage his feelings for Grant and Logan, he realizes that life doesn't always follow a script. I am so excited for this. I did not know that it would deal so much with movies, but Harry's a screenwriter and I cannot wait to read about that. It's going to be full of so many movie references, and it's going to just be so bright and airy, and I definitely want to read this soon because I was looking at my TBR and I was like, my TBR is just so dark right now and I really need a pick-me-up, and I feel like this is the perfect pick-me-up. So this book comes out on May 3rd this year, so I'll put the link down below if you want to pre-order yourself a copy. I am so proud of Robbie, and I am so thankful for him for sending me his book box, and I just love it. And the last exciting thing that I have to show you is the fact that I got myself an iPad, and I'm already obsessed with it. I got it actually today, earlier this morning, and look at the background that I have for my iPad. I'm just obsessed. It's old Hollywood inspired, and I really wanted an iPad because for my job I use my phone a lot for marketing, and I'm just always on my phone and it's always draining my battery. It's also using up a lot of my memory. So I wanted to invest in an iPad because I can then use all my work stuff on my iPad and kind of have a separation from my phone. And I also wanted to get into digital art and also use this for reading, and I also wanted to use it to watch Netflix. I have so many reasons why I wanted to get an iPad, and my cover is actually coming tonight, so I'm very afraid of like holding it because I feel like I'm going to scratch it or something, or I feel like I'm going to drop it, so I'm holding it very tight. But I cannot wait for my cover to come in so I can finally like really use it. And I am just so happy with it. It's everything that I wanted and more. I think it's going to be really good to not use my phone all the time for work and have this also be used for work. And it's just going to be nice to have my phone just be my phone and not be a piece of work as well, because I think that separation will be nice. So those are 3 very exciting things that I got during this week that I wanted to show you. And for the rest of the day, I don't really have a lot of plans. I do want to see the new movie Fresh, which Sebastian Stan is in. It is on Hulu, and I think he's like a killer in it. I don't really know what the movie's about. I know he goes on a date with a girl and the date kind of goes wrong, and I think he's like secretly very sinister and very creepy. And I'm excited to see him be an anti-hero in this movie. I'm excited to see his range, and I'm also currently reading 2 things. I'm listening to one thing on audiobook, and I'm also reading one thing on my Kindle, but now maybe I'll read it on my iPad because now it'll be like a bigger screen, and maybe I'll read even faster on an iPad because I'm so used to this like digital screen. I feel like I read so much faster on my phone, so maybe like having it on an iPad will allow me to read faster. Who knows? I feel like that would be a cool experiment to figure out. But the book that I'm currently reading on my Kindle is Electric Love by Katee Roberts. This is the sequel to Neon Gods, which follows Hades and Persephone, but this follows Psyche and Eros, and they are kind of in a marriage of convenience type of scenario. And I don't know, I'm like 75 pages into it. It's like 300 and something pages, and it's like pretty slow. I feel like I have a love and hate relationship with Katee Roberts. I feel like I mostly dislike a lot of her work, but there are a couple of stories that I really do like by her. So I feel like her stories are always a hit or miss for me, and I'm very iffy on what I will think about Electric Love because I don't know if I really enjoy it. I don't know if I'm just reading it for the hype. I don't really know. I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to DNF it. But the other book that I'm reading is A Brush with Love, and I'm listening to that on audiobook. That is a romance between 2 dentists while they are in university, and I'm not that far into it. I think I'm only like 6% into the audiobook, so I don't have a lot to say, but it's really cute so far. I'm 9% into it, by the way. So I don't have a lot to say about it because I'm only 9% through, but so far our main character, Harper, has a lot of anxiety around romance and just anxiety in general. And then she meets Dan, who is not as passionate about being a dentist as Harper is, and they kind of form a romance where Harper is very anxious about getting into this new relationship, and Dan is dealing with the fact that he doesn't really want to be a dentist. And I think their dynamic is really cute so far. I don't have a lot to say, like I said, because I'm not that far into it, but I am eager to get farther into it because it's really cute. I feel like I talked your ear off and like gave you so many updates, but that is all I have to say for now. And now let's get into the vlog, let's get into the cute B-roll, let's get into the cinematic vibes. I am not feeling my absolute best. I feel very lethargic and have a really bad headache that I took Tylenol for, but it doesn't seem like it did anything. But I was tinkering around with my iPad and I was adding all my apps that I usually use on my phone that I think would be great on an iPad. But if you have any recommendations for like iPad specific apps that you think just work great on an iPad rather than on a phone, comment them down below because I would love to get some recommendations, maybe even one for a digital journal because I know a lot of people do that. So now that I'm done tinkering around on my iPad, I think I'm gonna go to the mall because I saw a skirt on H&M's website that looks so stinking cute, but their sizes are really weird. So I want to go in person to try it on to see if I even like it because I was telling my friends like skirts are a big hit or miss for me. I really like long flowing skirts. The train kept on interrupting me. I was saying that these skirts are a hit or miss for me because I went to Catholic school. So I have very distinct memories of wearing a plaid skirt to Catholic school. So whenever I try them on in stores, it just flashes me back to that time in my life. So I want to go in person to try on this skirt to see if I even like it. And if I do, and if I get it, I will show you in the vlog. So we went to a mall and the H&M was closed. Like closed completely, like the store was gone. So luckily another mall was just like maybe like 10 minutes away, so we went to that one and the H&M had the skirt. It's a brown type of like tennis skirt. The waist is a little bit bigger than my size, like by like 2 centimeters, so I think I'm gonna like pin it on the inside or maybe even sew it on the inside to make it a little bit more form-fitting so it can fit me. But it's like a really cute skirt and I really liked how it fit on me, and it's kind of out of my comfort zone because I don't normally wear skirts. I usually wear dresses a lot more. I don't really like skirts, but I'm trying to get into skirts. I'm trying to be a little mini Fran Fine during the spring, so I'm really glad that I finally found it. I may have woken up very late today and I may have not accomplished a lot today, but I did crop this hoodie. I have had this hoodie since 2013 and I wore it a lot in high school, but I don't like the shape of hoodies anymore. I think they're too frumpy now and they just don't suit my body type. So I saw a video on YouTube on how to crop a hoodie. So I watched that video and told myself that I would definitely do that to this hoodie during this weekend. So I did it and I think it took about 25 to 30 minutes. It was super easy compared to all my other projects that I have done and I am so happy with it. It really suits me now, it fits my aesthetic now, and now I can rewear this hoodie from 2013 but with my style today. Now I'm like looking at all my other crew necks and I'm like, should I crop them as well? But I think I won't because crew necks are a different shape than a hoodie. A hoodie is kind of fitted towards the bottom and a crew neck is much more loose in terms of the hem at the bottom. So I think if I were to do the same technique with a crew neck, the crop wouldn't look as nice. It would be a lot baggier, while this one is a little bit more fitted and a little bit more flattering. But either way, I am so excited with this hoodie. I'm so excited that I was able to do this all by myself and I didn't have a lot of issues with it. So this is a job well done for me and a craft that I really wanted to do. And I got this when I went to see Mumford & Sons after they won their Grammy in 2013. I saw them the day after the Grammys and it was such an amazing concert. They were my favorite band in high school. Bastille is my favorite band now, but I still love this hoodie because I really like the wolf on the front and I just love the like vintagey type of vibe to it because it looks worn out. So now I'm so happy with this cropped hoodie and that was a craft that I did today. So now I'm going to go back to my front porch and read more of Electric Idol. I'm a little bit deeper into it and I'm enjoying it a lot more now and I want to see what's going to happen next because the marriage of convenience trope is really intriguing me. It's like fake dating but with really high stakes and I'm intrigued by it now and I really hope that I enjoy the rest of the book as well because like I said before, Katee Robert can be a hit or miss for me. I actually don't know if it's Katee Robert or Katee Roberts. I feel like I've been saying Katie Roberts, but I think it might just be Katie Robert. I forgot to say that I caught up with Mrs. Maisel. I only have to wait for 2 more episodes, which will come out next Friday. And I was also looking at the Instagram for Rachel, who plays Mrs. Maisel, and she said that they're currently filming season 5, which is amazing because I don't want to wait another 2 years for another season. And season 4 is definitely not my favorite season in this entire show. It's a bit convoluted, and I feel like the characters are acting out of character in a way. I feel like their storylines are a little bit messy, and I just don't really know why they're making certain decisions. So I'm waiting to see if these last 2 episodes in this season will kind of answer those questions and kind of guide these characters down a path that will go down in season 5. But either way, the season is still hilarious and beautiful to look at, and all the costumes are just amazing. And I just love this show so much. It is so entertaining, and even if I don't really enjoy the storyline of season 4, I just enjoy the comfort of Mrs. Maisel, and I just cannot wait for season 5. And I'm really glad that they're wrapping up the story and they are not dragging it out for seasons upon seasons, because I feel like the story definitely needs a finish, and I feel like we are nearing that finish.
It looks unreal. I'll take a photo now. Smile.
I spent majority of today crying, so that's fun. But instead of talking about that, let me tell you what I got up to yesterday. Yesterday night, I went to see The Batman with my 2 best friends, and it was absolutely fantastic. My favorite movie is The Dark Knight, so I'm very particular about Batman, and I initially was not in favor of this movie because I did not like Robert Pattinson's suit. I didn't like his Batmobile, and the promo photos just looked very stiff, but I went into this movie very excited for it because I've been a Robert Pattinson fan since Twilight, and I knew he's just such a good actor, and I knew he was going to own this role. It is 3 hours long, and it does not feel like 3 hours because once you're in the movie, you are in the movie. It feels like a film noir in the way that it is mysterious. It has a lot of heavy hint of shadows. It's very brooding, and there's a central mystery at the heart of it, and it was just such a fantastic movie. Robert Pattinson really owned the role in Bruce Wayne, and I feel like he felt the most Bruce Wayne out of all the movies that we have seen. Christian Bale plays a very American Psycho-esque Bruce Wayne, which I do appreciate because I do like the tone of that, but I feel like Robert Pattinson really owns the role in terms of having the angst and the despair in his character, and his chemistry with Selena Kyle was absolutely amazing. Both of their outfits were also gorgeous. I feel like the promo photos do not do them justice. I feel like once you see the movie, you will appreciate their costumes and the way that they act and the way that they act together, and I just loved this movie, especially because it focused on the Riddler rather than the Joker. I was worried that they were going to add the Joker into the mix and kind of have him take the central plot of the story, but they had the Riddler at the heart of the story, and I just loved the mystery. I thought it was really cool. It was gritty, it was dark, it really captured the essence of what Batman is, and I just want a Marvel movie to feel like that. I want a Marvel movie to feel as dark and grimy and scary as the Batman was, but I don't think that Marvel would ever go in that direction. I feel like they did with Daredevil, but I don't know if they're ever going to do that in the future. But the Batman really exceeded my expectations. I cannot wait to watch it again, and I feel like that's going to be a movie that I'm going to rewatch often because it is just so watchable. And I also got a really fun package in the mail that I wanted to show you on camera. This is from FSG Books, and it's for the book Cult Classic, which they pitched to me and told me they wanted to send me this package, and it sounded right up my alley, and it sounded somewhat like The Last Night in Soho, which is a movie I did not really enjoy, but the concept I really enjoy. So I'm excited to show you what's in this package. So the first thing we have here is a I Heart New York City notebook. Then we have some mints that say they're from New York as well. Can you tell that this book is set in New York? Then we have a t-shirt that I'm really excited about, and it says Cult Classic on the front, and on the back it has the cover design on it, which I think is really cool that they didn't put on the front. And I just really like how it says Cult Classic because some of my favorite movies are cult classics, so I cannot wait to wear that. And then we have the stunning book, Cult Classic. It says, one night in Manhattan's Chinatown, a woman sneaks out of a dinner with old friends to buy cigarettes. On the way back, she runs into a former boyfriend, and then another, and another. The city becomes awash in heartbreaks past, and what would normally pass for coincidence becomes something far stranger for our heroine Lola, who finds herself subject to the conspirings of one very contemporary cult run by people with an unusual interest in her romantic future. I think this is going to be so cool. I have not read a book about cults ever. I'm not a fan of cults at all. Like, in terms of documentaries, I just don't like watching things about cults because they give me anxiety. But I think it's going to be really cool. It definitely reminds me of The Last Night in Soho, and I just cannot wait to dive into it. I think the cover is stunning, and I think it's going to be a very interesting read and a very kind of A24-esque type of read, and I'm excited for it. So thank you so much to FSG for giving me this lovely package. I cannot wait to dive into this book soon. And I forgot to give you an update on the other two books that I was currently reading. One was Electric Idol and one was A Brush with Love. I DNF'd A Brush with Love because I just was not interested in the romance. It just was not my thing. Even though I'm sad that I DNF'd it, I'm really happy that I learned that romance novels are not my type of thing on audiobook. I enjoy them a lot more when I read them physically, so that was kind of like a lesson learned, even though it was not my favorite read. And as for Electric Love, I finally finished that book, but I also did not enjoy it. Her novels are just so convoluted in the way that they have like an overarching plot that's just not believable and is completely just so wild for no reason. This is also a lesson learned that I should just stop reading Katee Roberts' novels because they are not my cup of tea. Some of them are big hits for me, but a majority of them are misses. So I should just stop adding her books to my TBR because I'm getting nothing out of them. I wanted to close out this vlog and give you a couple of updates, one about my drawing, something that I was reading, and the movie that I saw. So the first thing that I want to talk about is my drawing. I finished my first portrait of a person on my iPad and it is amazing. I'm really happy with it. I think I did a really good job. It is my first time finishing an actual portrait of a person because I have tried many times to do it on a sketch pad and the proportion was always off. There was always something missing, and I wanted to be able to practice drawing people more often, but I wanted to do it on my iPad because it would be less time consuming in erasing things and starting all over. It's just easier to be able to draw on an iPad because you don't have to do all that erasing. So I was able to do that with Hedy Lamarr. I have been practicing drawing her for a couple of times now on my sketch pad, and I finally was able to do it on my iPad, and I'm really happy with how it came out. And I think I'm going to use my iPad a lot more to draw more people, to try and learn the perspectives of human faces and learn the techniques techniques of drawing a face, and then once I get really good at it and I'm able to do it a lot easier and quicker, I'm going to eventually translate that to doing it on my sketch pad, because I do like the feeling of drawing something physically. I think it's much more compelling to see the pencil sketches and the eraser marks, and I just think that it's much more appealing, in my opinion, to see it physically. Let me know if there are other techniques that you have done if you sketch people's faces. I would love to hear some tips and tricks down below, because I am just getting into it. I'm just learning how to draw people's faces. So if you have any like YouTube videos that you would recommend or artists that you would recommend who offer tutorials, I would love to be able to follow them and check them out. As for the book I read 1 Year in Tokyo by Christy Ann Jones, who has a lovely YouTube channel, and her booktube channel is just so cozy and bright, and she has been working on this digital book for years upon years, and when she announced it, I had to get myself a copy, and it's essentially a memoir and travel guide to Tokyo because she lived there for a year. So she offers some tips and tricks to people visiting Tokyo, people who are moving to Tokyo as an expat, and she also offers some insight into her own experiences living in Tokyo and the way that Japan left a very big imprint on her. It's kind of like a love letter to Japan. The art style is beautiful. It's just so heavily illustrated in such a beautiful way that was just so nice to look at, because the words kind of blended in with all the drawings that she had, and it just felt very interactive. It was very engaging, and I thought that her art and her writing was amazing. And if you were ever interested in eventually traveling to Japan, I would highly recommend this, because she offers insight on restaurants, bookstores, stores in general, museums, and I just am a sucker for a good travel memoir. I think that they are so fun to watch someone go from one country and move to another and kind of be culture shocked, but also make friends along the way, learn life lessons, and really grow and flourish in a new setting. I think it's just beautiful to read about. So if you do have any travel memoirs that you would highly recommend, I would love to get some recommendations down below as well. As for the movie that I saw, I finally watched Fresh, which stars Sebastian Stan and Daisy Edgar Jones. This is a movie about the horrors of online dating. It follows Daisy Edgar Jones as Noah, who comes across Steve, who is Sebastian Stan, and they decide to start dating each other. They met at a grocery store and they eventually go on a weekend trip together, and that is when Noah finally sees Steve's true colors. So this is a horror comedy, so it blends those two genres together. So it really juxtaposes those two very different genres together to blend them seamlessly into this movie that I am now obsessed with. I have not been able to stop thinking about it. I thought Sebastian Stan was just so good at playing such an unhinged, very weird character, and I thought that Daisy Edgar Jones was also an incredible actress. I have never seen her in anything before because I haven't watched Normal People and I'm not interested in it, so I was finally able to be introduced to her, and she was just such a fantastic actress, and I think that their chemistry was just flawless. I just loved the direction that this movie went in. I'm finding myself really drawn to horror movies as of late. I think that they are just so fun and entertaining, and I love the anxiety that it builds up in my chest, and I love sitting on the edge of my seat wondering what's going to happen, and that's what it was like from the moment I started Fresh all the way to the end. I was just in absolute shock. Even though it was a bit predictable, I had a lot of fun with it, and I just want more horror movies directed by women, because there's just a way that they direct movies that feel so much more relatable, so much more authentic, and it just hits different. It just hits different in a different way. Like Fresh and American Psycho, those two horror movies, they are comedic and horrifying at the same time, but they hit different than other horror movies, and it's probably because they are directed by women. I just love their attention to detail, and I love the way that they unfold these stories, and they're somewhat similar in a way, in the way that they balance horror and comedy together, and I just think that they're absolutely fantastic, and I just want more women to direct horror because they are just so talented, and I just loved Fresh so much. I have a full review for it over on my Instagram, so I'll be sure to link that post down below because you can read my whole thoughts there, but I just cannot recommend it enough, and I'm obsessed with the fact that they chose the song Heads Will Roll as their credit song. I have been playing that song non-stop since watching Fresh, and I just cannot get it out of my mind. This is just a movie that I keep on thinking about, and the more I think about, I just keep on raising my rating, and it went from a 3.5 star to like a 4.5 star now because I don't know. there's just something about that movie that I really loved. So that are all the updates that I have to share with you for the end of this vlog. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like to see in future weekly vlogs. I would love to include them in future videos. And if you want to connect with me anywhere else on social media, all my links will be down below. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!